And we're live. Hello, everyone. Um, Welcome to our last cooking demonstration. It's not the last part. We do have another session coming up on September 12th, which is a Saturday at 1 p.m. where we do a Q&A with our nutritionist, Adiani Williams. So we hope to see you there. But for today, this is our last cooking demonstration with Sarah. We're going to cover some healthy snacks and desserts, and I'm starving for something sweet after all that homeschooling today. I'm pretty sure some of you, if you're parents, you can relate to that. And with that, I'm going to get out of the picture and I will just hand it quickly over to Sarah. Thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us and prepping all this wonderful food. I'm so psyched about all the recipes. They're easy and I cooked all of them so far and they tasted fantastic. And even my kids ate them, which that's a big bonus. So with that, let's jump into getting some sweets and I hand over to Sarah.
Okay, thanks so much. And thank you all for joining us. Like Nicole said, this is the last part of our Compassionate Cooking series. And the first part, we covered the plant plate. The second course was on easy breakfast. Then we went to easy lunch, easy dinner, and now we're covering desserts and a couple of snack ideas. Those videos are all archived on YouTube for the Good Life Refuge if anyone wants to revisit any of those. And we also have the recipes available, and you can email us and we can get those to you. But like Nicole said, I wanted this series to be, and I think she's putting the email address below the screen. So if anyone would like these recipes, please reach out and we'll get them to you. And I wanted to make all of these recipes really easy and also really fun for kids as well, because I know Nicole has kids and I know a lot of folks out there have kids and also just want some easy recipe ideas. We want you guys to be successful on your plant-based diet. We want you to be successful for the animals as well as your health, because a plant-based diet is probably the healthiest diet that you can eat for long-term health. And I just quickly want to cover some of the nutrition information that I've really made a big point to impress upon people. You want to be sure that you are eating 3 servings of beans every day, a minimum of 3 servings of beans every day to get the essential amino acid lysine. And you also want to be eating those calcium-rich vegetables, the cruciferous vegetables like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and then you can also get tofu or tempeh as well. Those are all rich sources of calcium. And then you just want to eat as many servings of fruits and vegetables as you can. Get outside, get some vitamin D, get some comprehensive blood work done just to be sure that you are not deficient on anything. And I also like to take a multivitamin, and I also supplement with D and DHA and EPA. So I'm not going to get real far into the nutrition details. I want to just kind of briefly talk about some of the fun snacks and desserts. First of all, I want to show everybody just a few of the items that I had in my kitchen. This is a really nice cheesy sauce. It's core and rind. We also have a few local cheeses. These are dairy-free cheeses, and you can get them at a lot of grocery stores, Natural Grocers, Sprouts, even King Soopers and Safeway have a few. This is actually one of the Simple Truth brands, and this is a new product, and it is absolutely delicious. The spicy queso by Simple Truth. So I got a couple tortilla chips, and it would also be good with celery or carrots. So these are just a few snacks that you can pair with a nice vegetable. And then I have some granola bars. These granola bars are a little bit high in sugar, so I don't eat a lot of them, but they're also a nice sweet treat. And then I love to have freeze-dried fruit. This is some freeze-dried strawberries. And then I also have some dried figs too. I snack on figs or dried fruit all the time. And then these are fun, just some little coconut chips. Those are just quick, healthy, easy snacks. And then I also have, it's really fun. This is a local product. It's called Jai Mix, and it's an Ayurvedic blend, and it has coconuts in it, a couple different nuts, and mustard seeds, turmeric, some other fun spices as well. And my favorite snack is fruits, and we're going to be covering a lot of fruit dishes. And I would always recommend to someone to snack on a banana with a little bit of almond butter, or a apple with some almond butter, but try to sneak in those healthy fruits and vegetables as often as you can. Also, another really fun healthy snack is like a trail mix, or just eat a handful of nuts every once in a while, or a handful of seeds. Those are some of the best whole food plant-based snacks that you can get. So what I'm going to be demonstrating today is I'm going to be demonstrating a little bit of a really nice fruit dip. And then I'm also going to be making these stuffed cheesecake stuffed strawberries. And then we're going to finish it out with nice cream. And nice cream is basically frozen banana ice cream. And it's really fun to make. You can do a lot of different things with it. You can make a chocolate ice cream, or you can make a strawberry ice cream, cherry. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do with it. So I'm going to get right into the recipes. What I have here to start with is I have a little bit of vanilla yogurt. This is Forager. This is a pretty common brand. They're in most grocery stores now, and they make all sorts of really fun, not just yogurts, but they also make some really fun probiotic drinks, and just basically vegan dairy, you could say. And so I have a cup of the yogurt, and then I have a half cup of vegan cream cheese. This is Kite Hill. And I really like cooking with Kite Hill. I used to work for Kite Hill for a few months, and they have a really nice product. They make cheeses, non-dairy cheeses, and they also make some really nice yogurts. And this is becoming very readily available as well. They have a few different flavors, and these are really nice. We used to make really beautiful cheese boards. We'd use these beautiful wood boards, and we'd load up the boards with a little bit of the Kite Hill cream cheese, and then you can even put a little bit of jam on top of it, or you can take it in like a savory direction. But we'd load up the boards with all sorts of different snacks and set them out for people. And it's just a nice product to work with. It really is high quality as well. So I highly recommend checking out Kite Hill. You can also make cheesecakes out of it. There's a lot of different recipes that you can make. They have a couple recipes on their website as well. So I'm just going to add the cream cheese. And then I have this is a very easy, quick and easy dip. And then I have a little bit of vanilla. And then I have just a touch of maple syrup. And since this is already, I used vanilla yogurt, this is already pretty sweet. So I'm not going to use a lot of maple syrup. And you might even be able to leave the maple syrup out, depending on how sweet you like it. But just stir that up. You might even need like a whisk to get it really smooth. I'll probably use a whisk because it's going to take me a while to get it super smooth, but you just want to combine those ingredients and then mix them up. And what I have already on the board is just a couple whole strawberries, and then we just leave these out, and then we're just going to dip them in there. And then the other thing I'm going to add are just a couple slices of banana. And I demonstrated this in the first session, but the best way, I used to try to peel a banana like this, and it's a little bit hard to get it to peel off. It's so much easier to just peel it from the base. So, fun little tip. So I'm just gonna real quickly, oops, I don't know what I did with my knife, here it is. I'm just gonna real quickly chop up my banana into chunks and just lay these out on the board. And these make beautiful, beautiful boards for get-togethers or for holiday meals. They're really pretty, and then you can do so many nice designs with them. And you can use any fruits that you like. And if you're wanting to take it in a savory direction, you can also do a savory dip. And I'm going to show you a little bit about a savory dip that I do. And then I'm just going to chop up some apples. I'm just going to put the apples on there too. So this is a really, really yummy dip. And I think probably everyone that I've made it for has liked it. There might be some people that don't like yogurt or don't like cream cheese that wouldn't like it, but it's pretty much been a hit for almost everyone. So like I said, it's really easy. You can make it like on the weekend. Would be a good thing to batch cook. You can make it on the weekend, and then you can have it during the week. You can have it during the week to munch on out of the refrigerator. And that's what it looks like. So it turned out really pretty. And I love making these boards. You can get these boards also at Target for pretty cheap. And you can also get them on Etsy. But I don't have time to blend it up too well, but you do want to make sure that's smooth and it gets a really nice texture. So the next thing I'm going to move on to are cheesecake stuffed strawberries. And this is also a really fun and cute dish. It's unfortunately a touch messy, so you do have to be a little conscientious of that. But what I'm going to use the Kite Hill again. I'm going to use their unsweetened yogurt. And I love this unsweetened yogurt. I think I talked about it in the lunch demonstration. And the unsweetened yogurt is really diverse. And I've made like a stroganoff out of it. You can make dressings out of it. I really wanted to show everybody this. This is another one of my favorite ways to use it. This is just it's a creamy dill dip packet. And I get these from Natural Grocers. You might also be able to get them from King Soopers. You can also make up your own spice blend, like a ranch dip or even like a dill dip with dried herbs that you have in your cupboard. And all you do is just open this up, put it in the yogurt, and just stir it around, and it makes an incredible dip. And that's also really good to take to parties. Everyone likes that. And then just dip in some carrots or some celery, or even some of those small little sweet peppers. And it's just a really tasty, tasty dip. So, and that's also, I like to make that on the weekend, and I like to snack on it just myself out of the fridge. So, and then we're going to move on to our cheesecake stuffed mushrooms. Or I'm sorry, our cheesecake stuffed strawberries. I do make stuffed mushrooms quite a bit, and they're actually really good, but that's not what we're doing today. So what I have is the unsweetened yogurt, and like I said, this unsweetened yogurt is really good, very diverse, and if you like yogurt but you don't want sweet yogurt, I highly recommend trying that. The quality is really good. So I have the yogurt, and then I'm just going to add my cream cheese into the yogurt and just mix that around a bit. And hopefully this has more liquid, so. And it's a little bit more creamy because it has more cream cheese. And then I have some vanilla. And then I have a little bit more maple syrup. If you don't like it incredibly sweet, you could leave out the maple syrup, or you can use an alternative sweetener. Agave would be a good alternative. And then the final thing that I'm going to add is a little bit of lemon juice. And I wanted to demonstrate some tips for squeezing a lemon. I like to kind of roll it around. When you roll it around, it breaks up the cell walls and it gets the juice a little bit more readily available. And it's just easier to juice, especially this one's pretty ripe, but if they're not ripe at all, if they're really fresh, that helps. It just breaks down the cells and it makes the juice, it makes it easier to juice. And then you can juice this if you have like a citrus reamer or however you like to juice, go ahead and do that. But I just like to, just to save time, and I hate making dishes, I just like to squeeze it into my hand and then catch the seeds. But obviously, juice the lemon however you prefer. I've got one more, but just try to pick out and keep from getting any seeds in there. And I love, love, love adding citrus to my meals because citrus adds, I talked a little bit about flavor profile and adding things that give you a lot of flavor, and that lemon juice will always give you a really nice flavor. It's also really good if you're making cheeses. It's also really good. It helps develop like a tangy flavor. And so it's really helpful just to make, like I mentioned, it makes things interesting. So the next thing that I have, I've mixed up all of my ingredients, and I have this really creamy mixture. It basically looks like something that you would make cheesecake out of. And then I have a little sandwich bag. And I'm gonna pour, I think I might not pour all of it this time, just because I'll probably save some of this for later. But this is also a really fun thing to do with kids, but I will warn everyone that it does get a little bit messy. But if they were older kids, they probably would enjoy this. So I have it in this is like a piping bag for anyone that makes pastries or does any baking or decorating cakes. You will oftentimes use piping bags. This is just like a modified piping bag. And I'm just gonna clip the end off. Oh, and I forgot to talk about my strawberries. Let me talk about the strawberries real quick. So I've prepared the strawberries, I cut them down the middle, and then I scooped out the insides. And you can leave the leaves on, or you can scoop them out directly like that. You could also kind of, I don't know if I can do this, but you could also open them up from the top, and then you can just kind of scoop out most of the insides, and then just make them like that. But yeah, I just wanted to demonstrate. I should probably move some of this stuff out of the way. Just wanted to demonstrate one. I cut it in half, and then being very careful with the knife, just kind of chisel it out there. And it is a little bit more challenging to do with a spoon, but you can also scoop out the inside with a spoon. And then, yeah, like I said, I'll bring some of these up. Just have a little indentation, basically. So now we have those prepped. And I'm going to take my modified piping bag. Like I said, this is a little bit messy, so be careful, but I'm just gonna squeeze some of the cream cheese in there. And it actually would be a little bit better if you were to put this in the refrigerator for just a few minutes so it's a little harder, so it doesn't ooze out so much, and then you just have, it stays in place a little bit easier. But just squeeze as much as you feel comfortable with into the strawberry. And this is a really easy, really fun recipe, and people are always pretty wowed by this. And then what I have is just a few graham cracker crumbles, and I'm just going to crumble them over the top, or I'm just going to kind of top them with the graham graham cracker crumbles. So, and there you have it. Cheesecake stuffed strawberries. And there are all sorts of things you can do with fruit to make it into a healthy dessert. You could dip those in chocolate. You could get whipped cream, dip them in whipped cream. But really, I am a person that has a bit of a sweet tooth, so I always am trying to find ways to satisfy my sweet tooth without eating tons of ice cream. I still eat ice cream every once in a while, but I like to have alternatives. So, oh, and I did finally want to talk about just some other of a few other products on the market. We have there's all sorts of really nice non-dairy ice creams available. And there's also even non-dairy cheesecakes. Basically any dessert that you want, you can make vegan now. This is a local company. This is called Denotzi, and they make a really nice ice cream. And this is made from almond milk, I believe, and it's all non-dairy, pretty allergenic too. And they have 9 flavors, and it's delicious. You can order. They will deliver this directly to you, or you can get it at Whole Foods as well. So, highly recommend that brand. And then some of the other brands that I really like. This is a Ben & Jerry's. That's really good. And then we also have So Delicious. That's another really good brand too. So, but basically, like I said, any dessert that you like, you can pretty much veganize. And we're not going to get too far into some of the alternatives for baking. But if you're trying to replace eggs in recipes, you can use things like flaxseed, or you can use Energy Egg Replacer. And Energy Egg Replacer is available at most grocery stores. Most grocery stores have some sort of egg replacer because they're finding out that a lot of people are allergic to eggs. So it's been a pretty big priority for them to make non-egg egg replacers. And so the final thing that I'm going to be covering is nice cream. And nice cream is basically frozen banana ice cream. And it's a healthy alternative to ice cream. And what I do with I love to get bananas because they're a healthy snack for me. I eat them with almond butter, and it's a quick thing for me. It also has potassium. If I ever have a headache, sometimes I'll get headaches throughout the week. If I ever have a headache, I'll just eat a quick banana, and they will sometimes help my headache. And bananas also are good for your brain too. So I try to snack on bananas and other fruits as well, just because they're really good for your body and especially your brain. But if the bananas start getting too ripe, I'll just pop them in the freezer, and then I make nice cream. And I make nice cream for myself, and also I'm going to be making this nice cream, and it's also good for dogs as well. So I think we'll just go with 2. We'll just go with 2 bananas. And if you were really organized, you could peel them first and then freeze them, so you don't have to. This is kind of hard on your fingers, but you would peel them first and then pop them in like a little plastic bag. And then you can just pop them directly in your food processor or your blender. But I just toss them in there because I'm usually pretty crunched for time. And then when I'm ready to make it, I just peel the bananas. And I also the reason why I wanted to do this recipe is because I wanted to tell everyone about a high-speed blender. And I love my high-speed blender. I have a Vitamix back here, and it is absolutely wonderful. I do all sorts of stuff in there. I make up like the graham cracker crumbles I put in there. You can make soups in there. You can make dressings. You can make sorbet. There are smoothies. The options are just absolutely endless with what you can do with the Vitamix. They are a little bit pricey, but I saved up for mine, and it is well worth it. It has lasted, and I've never really had any problems with it. So I highly recommend it. It's great for making like Alfredo sauces. It's great for blending up cashews to make different dips. There are just so many things that you can do with it, and it's really changed my life since I've been vegan. So I'm just gonna pop, and you'll see how easy this is. I'm just gonna pop the bananas in here. And I'm also gonna use a little bit of that yogurt. And I like to use this yogurt, since I'm gonna give some of this to my dogs, I like to use this yogurt just because it gives them a little bit of a probiotic boost. And I think I'll just use 2. You can really use however many. I'll do about 2 tablespoons. And I've experimented with making nice cream, and I found that my favorite nice cream is just peanut butter nice cream. And so I'm just going to use a little bit of Jiffy peanut butter. And I'll just do this is half a tablespoon. I'm just going to do about 1.5 tablespoons. You will have to be a little bit conscientious with this to make sure that it's liquidy enough so it will blend. You can also add a little bit of non-dairy milk to this as well if you want it to be a little softer. So yeah, all I have in here is just the frozen bananas, a little bit of non-dairy yogurt, and some peanut butter. And a Vitamix is pretty self-explanatory, but it has a low setting and then it has a high setting, and the high settings are really good for making things really smooth, like your soups, your smoothies, and if you have like any cashew cream sauce, you want to bump up the setting. And it also has this plunger, which helps kind of mix things around. That is my only complaint about the Vitamix, is it's hard to get things to mix around. So we're gonna do our best. But yeah, so I'm gonna start this, and it's gonna be a little bit loud for a little bit. And you always want to start it at the low setting and then work to high. Okay, so I might, if I didn't have you guys on the line, I might do that for a little bit longer. But since everybody is watching, I think that's probably good enough for now. And if you don't have a Vitamix, pretty much a food processor would be good. And there are some other cheaper high-speed blenders that you can use. Unfortunately, I had like a NutriBullet, and it broke pretty quickly. And like I said, this Vitamix has not broken in a really long time. So, or it's never broken on us. So I like to use it. And so here you can see, make it a little pretty for people. We have peanut butter and ice cream, and I've got a special treat. I used to love Magic Shell when I was a kid, and Magic Shell is basically a chocolate sauce that gets like a crackly crust when it's put on ice cream. And this is what the ice cream looks like. Peanut butter and ice cream. And like I said, this is my favorite recipe, just a little bit of frozen bananas, a little bit of peanut butter. And you can either do non-dairy milk or you can also do some yogurt. But I would suggest, if this is something you're really interested in, I would suggest experimenting with some other recipes. Like you could do a peppermint or a mint ice cream, or you could even do like a lime ice cream. You could do chocolate ice cream, or you could also do cherry, strawberry, peach. The options are really endless as far as the flavors that you can add. And like I said, this is just a healthy alternative. You saw the ingredients. It's very pure, and you can keep it in the refrigerator, make up a big batch, keep it in the refrigerator, and just have it to snack on. You will have to let it thaw out, because when it thaws, or when it freezes pretty hard. And this is my magic shell. And all this is just a little bit of, I don't know if you can see that, but this is just a little bit of cocoa powder, coconut oil, and maple syrup. And I'm just gonna pour this over the ice cream. And this is just gonna be a fun little ice cream, peanut butter ice cream with chocolate sauce, kind of like a Reese's peanut butter cup. And the coconut oil, when I put the coconut oil over it, or put the coconut oil in it, it helps solidify it when it gets cold. And you can also make this up prior and have it in your refrigerator. Let's turn this off. Just gonna drizzle this over. And it tastes really good. And I made a really nice ice cream cake the other day, and I put the magic shell on it, and it was so good. And if you like, you could even put some of the strawberries on top of this. You want to be sure with the magic shell that you don't it can burn. Chocolate burns pretty easy, so you want to cook it low, and it'll just melt pretty quickly. But here is the final ice cream with magic shell topping. And that's gonna harden up a little bit, and I'm gonna take some pictures of it. And yeah. So those are the three recipes I wanted to demonstrate. And like I said, whenever you are making desserts, just try to sneak as many of those fruits in, and try to have healthy desserts if you're a person that has a sweet tooth. And I also wanted to, since this is our final class, I want to give Nicole a really big thank you and a big shout out for hosting us. And I mentioned that the Good Life is such a wonderful place. And I've been up there before, and the animals are just so sweet, and everyone up there is just so lovely. So once she starts having events, please visit her. And if anyone can ever donate, they're always looking for donations for hay or vet bills, or they're a great organization to volunteer at and also donate to. So we are so grateful for their life-saving work, and we just appreciate you having us, and we appreciate everything you do. So thank you all so much for tuning in to these sessions. And if anyone would like to work with me in the future or has any questions, I am always available. And I told everyone what my website is, but if you ever want to contact me, it's just saraheastonhealth.com. And yeah, I have recipes and all sorts of other fun stuff on there. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got some great ideas for recipes. And Nicole and I were talking previously. I think we're going to try to do a couple more classes down the road. So hopefully you can tune in for those too. So thank you, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That was wonderful. As usually, I'm hungry now. Unfortunately, I don't have bananas and strawberries in the house, so we'll have to do some grocery shopping so I can cook these recipes. Thank you for all the wonderful recipes. Honestly, they were great, and I tried them all, and they're easy, and even my kids like them, so fantastic. For everybody else, thank you for joining us today. I wish you a wonderful rest of the week. Stay sane. We will see you back here Saturday, September 12th at 1 p.m. for our final session, which is not a cooking demonstration. It will be a Q&A session with nutritionist Adiani Williams. She's a plant-based nutritionist and a chef as well. And if you want to submit your questions up front, I'm more than happy to take them in. You can either send them to my email address, nicole@goodliferefuge.org, or you can send it to our general mailbox, info@goodliferefuge.org. I can't even speak today anymore. So with that, have a wonderful rest of the week, and we hope to see you soon. And yeah, take good care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.